Hello there, welcome to We Are Crafted in His Image. I am here today with a Technique Tuesday, and I have decided that I am going to start a series of Technique Tuesday, and I'm going to go through the alphabet. So we are going to start today with the letter A, and today A stands for acetate. We are going to use these acetate sheets, or Stampin' Up! Calls them window sheets, and I'm actually going to show you three different ways, three different techniques to use these little sheets with for this card here. And I don't know if you can see very well in there, but this card is actually a pop-up little window card, and of course the first way to use the acetate sheet is this front part of the card, but I'm going to show you a couple other ways to use it as well. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to make it. I specifically bought this set because currently my husband works for a school district and they are the Pirates, so I had to get the stamp set for making graduation cards and stuff for them. Yeah, I thought it was kind of fun. But we're going to start today by making our watercolor background, and I know you guys have seen me do this technique before, actually similar anyway. I'm going to grab in, first off I'm going to grab my acetate sheet here, my window sheet, and I'm going to bring in some of our Stampin' Write markers. Now I have here several of the new markers, the new in colors, and I have some of our regular colors, but I'm going to start out with, let me see, Blackberry Bliss, and I'm just going to color a streak across the top of that. And then below that I'm going to use this is Moody Mauve, this is one of our new in colors. Whoops. Color on my background there. Thankfully, again, these are water-based, so they're pretty easy to clean up. And actually, I got those out of order. Well, yeah, yes, I got them out of order. Hold on. Let's do this. Wipe some of that off a little bit. I'm going to come in with Melon Mambo next. Get some bright color going in there, and then we'll go with the Moody Mauve. I'll make that one a little bit wider. Then I have the Wild Wheat, which is kind of a yellowy green brown color. And then we're going to come in with some blues. I'm going to start with the Boho Blue. This is one of our new colors. And then Misty Moonlight. This was a color we had a while ago, and it has come back into our regular lineup now, which I love, love, love this color blue. There we go. And I don't have to go all the way down. I probably will, but we're going to do some stamping at the bottom, so we don't have to cover that completely. So now what I'm going to do is bring in my handy little water bottle, squirt bottle, spritz some water, get it pretty gooey going there. Then I'm going to take my watercolor piece of watercolor paper here. Actually, I think I'm going to put a little more at the top. And I'm just going to lay this down flat on there. Okay. And then once I've laid it down, yes, my fingers might get a little goopy here. I'm going to flip the whole thing over just so I can see, and I can do some smooshing around. I can make sure that I have that color going all the way out to the edges, as far as I want it to go. You see some of the areas white, I can push that water around, get it to work into the paper. And then when I take this off, because I have a stripe pattern going this way, I do want to make sure that I pull it off going in one direction. Otherwise it may pull the blue all the way up or the other way around, and so I want to try to keep that stripe look going. So I am going to try and pull it like that. Woo! Did get a little bit in there. And then I like to come in with a paper towel here, and I'm going to go ahead and dry some of this excess off on the edge here. Not too much, because you don't want it. Oh, I left fingerprints there. You know what you could do? Because I did leave fingerprints, so I come back in here like this and smoosh over top of those and get rid of some of them. But because I don't want this to have splotches, like sometimes I'll do that splotchy background, I don't necessarily want that on this one, so I'm going to try and smooth that out. And then come in with my paper towel and get rid of some of those splotches. There we go. And then I just need to set this aside and let it dry, and I'm going to do some more stamping on it in a minute. So let me go ahead and get that dry, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. My paper, I went and used my heat tool and I got this all nice and dry, so it's ready for the next step. And I also just used some water and a clean paper towel and got this all nice and clean because we're going to use this later. And so I got all the ink and everything off, came off very easily. Go ahead and set this over here. And I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. So I am going to bring in a scrap piece because I'm going to stamp off the edge of this. And I am going to use the Blueberry Bushel, which again, this was one of our previous colors that has come back into the lineup, and now it is a regular color. And I'm going to grab that really cool watery stamp that's in this. Grab myself a block here. And I am going to stamp this all over the bottom of this piece here. I'm just going to stamp this image. I'm going to go off the edge. I'm going to stamp over. So we have lots and lots of waves going all over there. You can't see it super well on this one here, but in a minute, this one you will be able to see it really well on. Now this piece here is just a piece of our white, and I've already cut it with one of the die cuts that comes with this. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp all over, covering this whole thing. And again, it's just giving us that image of lots of waves and splashes, overlapping them. Oh, that's so cool looking. There we go. Now we have a storm going on. So now I can put this away. I think I have one other stamping to do. I've done most of the stamping ahead of time. I am going to grab the Hoping This Year is Full of Adventure and Excitement stamp. Let me grab a block. And I believe I did it in basic gray. There we go. And let's see. I want to stamp this in the middle of my strip. Oh, okay, so looks like I need to tilt a little bit up on mine. I think I tilted a little too far up. So I have one more strip here. I have so many of these strips at home or here. Let's try. There we go. We got it. These are just the cutoffs from when I'm cutting down pieces to fit on the inside of a card. And I save them. I actually have a drawer just for these little 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch strips of cut-off paper that I use for sentiment strips all the time. And there we go. I think all of our stamping is done. Now we can assemble. So I'm going to start out with, this is our card base here, and I will have all the dimensions for this as usual on my blog, but this is a 5.5 inch wide, but it is 6 1/4 inches long, and it has been scored at a 1/2 inch, 4 3/4, 5 1/4, and 5 3/4. I'm going to go ahead and fold this piece down. Where is my bone folder? Burnish that well. The first score is going to go up towards the center of the card. The second one is going to go back the other direction. And then the last one is going to go back in towards the center of the card. So when you're done, this part here is going to look like a little W right there. Okay? So that is this piece. Before we put on our acetate, we need to put our background on. Oh, I do have some more stamping to do. That was the third way I wanted to show you how to use the acetate. So on this one here, I have some birds in this background, And after I made it, I thought I kind of want the birds going in the other direction. Rather than going towards my ship, I want them to be going away from my ship. So this is a way that you can do that. They don't come out quite as perfectly as if you are doing it, you know, directly from the stamp. But what you can do is, I'm going to use Night of Navy for this. You can stamp your birds, ink up your stamp, stamp onto a piece of, I don't know if you can see it on there, but I have a piece of acetate here. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my birds onto that. Now you do want to do this gently because this is a very slick surface, and if you push too hard it's going to slide around and distort your image. But you can see I have my birds on here, right here. And now I'm going to put them where I want them in my sky. And I'm going to just kind of gently put this down, and then I'm going to rub very firmly, trying not to wiggle, and lift up, and there I have my birds going in the other direction as compared to going this way. Now these didn't come out because this is textured. It doesn't always come out super well, so because these are clear, I'm going to go ahead and re-ink. Actually, I can just clean that off real quick. Clean off that one. Ink it again. And I'm going to stamp one more time so that I can get another image in. Because this is clear, it is super easy to line that back up with the birds. Push really well. Give it a good rub down, transfer that ink, and there we go. There's my birds all done. I'm going to go ahead and put this over here to clean. And now I'm going to go ahead and stick that inside. Now this technique works much better if you are doing it onto a smooth cardstock as opposed to onto watercolor paper, which has a lot of texture to it, but it still works really well. And because they're in the background, it's gonna give you that illusion that the birds are there. So I'm gonna go ahead and adhere this piece, and as per usual, because this has been watercolored, it has warped a little bit, so I'm putting adhesive on all of the edges, a little bit in the middle as well, and then this simply goes down here, centered on my card base. There we go. I'm avoiding my birds in case they're not quite dry yet, but they should be dry. Okay, then we need some tear and tape, because that is the best adhesive to use for the acetate. And here is my sheet. I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive at the very top edge. And at the very bottom edge. There we go. And then just making sure it's going to fit in there fine. So go ahead and peel off the bottom one. And I'm going to go ahead and lay this here, tuck that in there, making sure my adhesive is, or my acetate sheet, window sheet is straight before I lay that on it. And then remove this backing and fold over the flap. And there we go. There's the base to our card. Now we need to add all of our little embellishments there. So I've already pre-stamped the ship and 3 clouds. Now 2 of the clouds I did in Smoky Slate, 1 of them I did in Basic Gray. And this ship I did in the Basic Gray, on this one I did it in the Night of Navy. So we'll just decide later which one we like better. But I couldn't decide, so I did them both. And the best, again, the best adhesive for gluing onto that is going to be your tear and tape. So I'm going to put tear and tape on the back of each of these and put a strip on the back of my ship. Put a strip on the back of each of my clouds. And I could take one of the clouds and put it on dimensionals, but I think I'm going to leave them pretty flat. There we go. And then, oh, we need to trim this. I need my scissors. Oh, there they are. Found them. I need to cut a little banner on the end here. Whoops. That's much better. I had been cutting some adhesive foam with these scissors and they were very sticky with adhesive and weren't wanting to cut. So a little tip for you is just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol and squirt it on there and use a paper towel and you can wipe and the adhesive comes right off. So now these should cut through much better now. Oh yes. There we go. Got my banner strip ready. And now let's go ahead and assemble. Go ahead and take my... Now the reason I only put the adhesive at the bottom of this is because I want to be able to tuck my ship underneath the waves. Put my waves in the front. I'm going to go ahead and put my clouds on the top. I think I want the light gray ones in the back this time. Oh, come here. And this one's going to go slightly off and then I'll trim it. And then this one here we're going to put in the front. This would be easier if I got my pokey tool out. There we go. Use my scissor. Cut that off. And now my ship is going to go underneath. Off to the side. Oh yeah, I like my birds. Yeah, I do like them flying away from the ship better. And, oh, I forgot to put adhesive back here. And let's tuck this underneath the ship as well. Oh, I need to trim that down a little bit. Straight? Yes, yes, no, no, a little bit high. There we go. And there I have a finished card. And here is another one. I think this would be a really cool card. Oh wait, it's not quite finished. I totally forgot about this piece. So in the dies, they have this really, really awesome wave cutout. I really recommend that you use adhesive sheets on your cardstock before you cut this out, because you're really not going to want to try and use liquid adhesive to adhere this piece on. It's just going to not be worth the time and effort to do that. So I really recommend the adhesive sheets for this. So I'm going to peel this piece off and then lay this down. This one does go slightly off the edge, so just a hair wider than my 5.5 inch card. Okay, let go of my hand, let go of my hand. Thank you. I just thought that added a fun extra little element to our waves. There we go. Give that a really good burnish though. So make sure that that adhesive sheet really gets attached to your background. And then I'm going to use my scissor, trim, trim, and there we have a finished card. Again, now we have a finished card. So which one do you like better, the navy blue ship or the basic gray ship? I don't know, and I actually think I like the darker gray cloud in the background rather than in the foreground. But yeah, oh, my my wave got stuck up in the sky. There you go. So I hope you enjoyed this card. We have our A is for acetate today. And until next time, God's love and blessings to you. Bye.